In Illinois, your car feels private. Legally, it isn't. You can follow every rule while driving and still commit a felony when you park. If you carry and drive, this matters. Chapter 1. Illinois Carry Baseline. Illinois does not allow permitless carry. Open carry is mostly illegal. If you want to carry a handgun in public in Illinois, you need a concealed carry license. To get a CCL, most people must take training and pass an exam. But that's not the first step. Illinois is also an FOID state. FOID stands for Firearm Owner's ID. Before applying for a CCL, you need a valid FOID card. The FOID is required to legally own or buy guns and ammunition in Illinois. To get a CCL, you must be at least 21 years old. The FOID has age rules too. If you are under 21, you need a parent or guardian to sign for you. Another path is being in the military. Illinois also limits magazine size, 15 rounds for most handguns, 10 for certain rifles. There are narrow exceptions, but most people must follow them. Stay with me as we cover driving rules and prohibited locations. Chapter 2. Driving without a CCL. Without a CCL, your vehicle is not a free carry zone. You cannot carry any firearm in your vehicle unless it fits into one of the transport rules written into state law. The firearm must be broken down so it cannot fire, or it must not be immediately accessible, or it must be unloaded and fully enclosed in a case, gun box, or similar container, and you must have a valid FOID card. The safest and clearest path is this. Keep the firearm unloaded, place it inside a real firearm case, make sure your FOID is valid and on you. That is the clean lane. Illinois law does not require ammunition to be stored separately during lawful transport. Now, if the gun is loaded and sitting in your console, under your seat, or within reach without a CCL, that can be charged as unlawful use of a weapon. If multiple people are in the vehicle and the firearm isn't properly secured, more than one occupant can face charges under constructive possession. Penalties can also increase if a violation happens in or near certain locations, including schools. Chapter 3. Driving with a CCL. If you have a valid and active Illinois concealed carry license, the rules change, but only for handguns. Under the Firearm Concealed Carry Act, a license holder may carry a loaded, concealed handgun on their person or inside a vehicle. You do not need to unload the handgun. You do not need to place it in a case. You do not need to store ammunition separately. But this only applies to handguns. A CCL does not allow you to carry a loaded rifle or shotgun in your vehicle. Your license must be valid and active. If it is suspended or expired, you lose that protection. Illinois does not recognize out-of-state carry permits for concealed carry. Even with a valid CCL, the vehicle rule does not override prohibited locations. So if you drive onto property where carry is banned, different rules apply. We'll get to that in a moment. First, let's talk about what happens when the red and blue lights come on. Chapter 4. Traffic stops in Illinois. Is Illinois a duty to inform state? Only in specific situations. If you are carrying a concealed handgun under your CCL and an officer initiates a lawful stop and requests identification, you must present your CCL and disclose that you are armed. And if the officer asks, you must also present your FOID. Can an officer take your firearm during a stop? Yes. During a lawful stop, an officer may temporarily secure a firearm for safety. That does not mean you're under arrest. It means the officer is securing the scene. Once the stop ends, the firearm should be returned if there is no legal reason to seize it. Failure to disclose when required can lead to penalties and may affect your license. So during a stop, keep your hands visible, stay calm, follow instructions, disclose clearly. Do not reach for the firearm unless directed. Now let's talk about where parking can turn into a real problem. Chapter 5. Prohibited Locations and Parking Lots. Illinois has a long list of prohibited areas under the Concealed Carry Act. Schools, courthouses, government buildings, public transportation facilities, certain bars, and more. Even with a CCL, you generally may not carry inside those buildings. This is where drivers get comfortable and make mistakes. Most violations happen when you park. Illinois law increases penalties for certain firearm violations when they occur in or near specific locations. In some federal law cases, near can mean within 1,000 feet. You do not have to walk inside a prohibited building to create legal risk. That affects parents, it affects commuters parking near train stations, it affects anyone going downtown in Chicago where prohibited locations are close to each other. Now here's the narrow legal lane. Illinois provides a parking lot rule. If you drive onto prohibited property, including a school or government building, you may store your firearm inside your locked vehicle or in a locked container within the vehicle, as long as you do not remove it from the vehicle in a prohibited area. If you need to move it from your body to the trunk, unload it before you step out, then store it in the trunk. You can lawfully drive onto the property, but the moment you step out armed into a prohibited zone, you've crossed the line. Chicago does not create separate vehicle carry rules, but density matters. In high-density areas, you are constantly moving through school zones and transit zones and government property. Your margin for error shrinks the closer those places sit together. Your car is not a legal gray zone in Illinois. It's one of the most prosecuted.
Hey, if you made it this far, you probably care about doing things right. If you've tried carrying in gym shorts or sweats, it just never feels quite right. Waistband moves, holster shifts, it's fine, but it's not dialed. That is why we built Relaxed Fit Tactical. Our shorts lock onto an inner belt, so your holster clips to a hidden belt, not just fabric. Same setup, same draw, just more comfortable. So if you carry every day, this just makes sense. Links below.